hot.
Hello and welcome back, Knicks fans. Big Knick Burt with the Big Knick Energy. Back for round 2, trying to get this one right. I uploaded a video detailing the Twitter beef between Poppa Left and Knicks Wall, Kris, and Jonathan Macri, and a little beef between Poppa Left and the Big Knick Energy guys. But it seemed I was missing information. So the power of the internet is only as strong as its servers, and once things are lost, they're lost. But I actually linked up with a few people who had some more receipts, who had some more footage that I didn't originally have access to. And once getting that access, kind of changes the story a bit. So if you watched the first video and you kind of thought it was maybe leaning a little too one way or the other, I hope this will clarify, what I'm all about, because I'm not trying to take anybody's side or give someone a voice or, what's the word? Well, whatever. I don't want to condone. I think that's maybe what it is. I don't want to condone, toxic boys, or I don't want to condone saying any old thing. So just like Kris P and just like Poppa Left, Angelo over at Big Knick Energy, like I want everybody's voice to be heard, and I want people to see the full picture and to get the real gravity of the situation. So obviously mix it up a little bit. Got my Macho Man Randy Savage shirt on. I got my dog right here. You can probably hear her. Good old Roxanne here. We can take a look. Oh, snap. Okay. That's about as fourth wall breaking as I'll ever be. So I got Roxanne here. I got my Macho Man Randy Savage shirt on. I am armed with some new knowledge, and we're going to go right back into this because I was always kind of prepared for this to go the other way, and I was actually kind of surprised with what I found, that it didn't completely vindicate Poppa Left, but it made him look not so terrible. And I really went into this expecting it to be terrible because, like I said in the last video, I do not like Poppa Left. I don't like Kris P. I don't like Jonathan Macri. I respect them, and I'm going to let them live their lives. I'm not going to do anything against them or whatever. It's just they're a non-entity to me. I'm just a guy who likes the Knicks, and I want to foster positive environments where people can get excited about basketball, because that's really what I like to do at the end of the day. I know I focus on a lot on drama and other content creators and stuff like that, but I'm a basketball fan. That's what it is. I love basketball. I love playing it, watching it, and especially when it's blue and orange. So that's what I'm about. That's what I like to live like. Secondarily, I'm also a historian, so I take it very seriously when I cannot find a source. And when I do find a source, I do like to update, my research, my work. So it's really important to me, and I just wanted to get that out of the way. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. The Big Knick Energy crew got into a little spat for calling out Poppa Left because he was glorifying a Spaces argument he got into with Keisha. Him and Keisha were arguing about over who gets more women, and they were cursing at each other and this and that, yada yada yada. It was really whatever. It's just a carnival.
That was interesting.
And my guy over at Big Knick Energy retweeted and was like, "This is a bad look. I don't know why you're advertising this. You're making Twitter into a show." All right, that set off Poppa Left, and the Big Knick Energy guys retaliated, and really, they mended bridges, whatever. So they smoothed it over, it seemed, after some pretty heated arguments. Poppa Left wouldn't call it an argument because it's two sides, whatever. I don't really care. Basically, they were having what I would call a dick measuring contest. I'm more right, you're more right, whatever. Everybody has their opinions, yada, yada, yada. So that's what kind of turned me on to actually even looking at this guy and addressing anything that was said or anything like that. And then I found out, I threw a tweet. So he tweeted, Poppa Left tweeted, "Oh, 2 big brands have come from me recently." And I'm like, well, we're not really a big brand, but all right, appreciate that. And so who's the second? What happened? Because I don't really go on Twitter that much. I'm not really like that tuned in. I don't really care. When the season's happening, I'm pretty active with memes. I'm active with like following players and just updating stuff like that. But like off season, I'm not really, I'm out. I'm in the summertime. I'm enjoying it because I am here in the northern hemisphere. For those in the southern hemisphere, enjoy the winter. I always like to shout out southern hemisphere people. So I'm enjoying the summertime and not really tuned in. So I had to do a little research on Poppa Left and what went on with Kris P and Jonathan Macri. And my last video, addressed it, but I was told it was maybe not showing the whole picture. So let's get back into that and give it a little better look this time. So originally the dust up happened because Poppa Left believes the Knicks should have drafted and kept Duren. All right, not an unpopular opinion. In fact, it's fairly common, as we will see later. But so he has this opinion, and that's fine. And Kris P and Poppa Left had a long Twitter space on the morning of the summer league. I think it was July 8th. And basically, I was talking about all different types of things. It's a 6-hour long space. I'm not really, going through all of it. But, he's talking about Duren. He's talking about the Knicks and what moves they should have took and what moves they didn't take, whatever. And so obviously he wanted Duren, right? That was his goal. So he's been talking about him, whatever. Kris P comes out and tweets. I have a white dog, excuse me. It's everywhere. So Kris P comes out and tweets to nobody. No quote, no names. Just says, if 12 minutes of Summer League, makes you go on spaces for several hours crying about missing Duren, then you should reevaluate your relationship with sports. And now this is where I was like, well, that's kind of rude, right? Like, you're allowed to have an opinion about Duren. Yes, correct. Fine. But this wasn't directed at anybody. It's just like, why are you... Let's move ahead, right? Let's look ahead. I think that's kind of like where Kris P was coming from. Let's look ahead. I don't know, like, why are you going to have a 6-hour talk about a player that we didn't, didn't take? So, like, let's just go ahead. I mean, we're making moves. We're doing other things, like eyes forward, right? So I think that's where Kris P was at, and that's where he was kind of addressing it. So Poppa Left took offense to that, thinking that tweet was specifically for him, and kind of went off on Kris P, saying, he wasn't crying about him, saying, you guys are the people who need this content, not me, whatever. Basically taking a ton of offense from that tweet that wasn't even directed at him and running with it, right? So now Poppa Left is going off the rails, hosting spaces and just going in on Kris P, content creators, and then Jonathan Macri. So somebody... Jonathan Macri often does post-game analysis when he's available. And in that, I think it's YouTube, in that stream, he mentioned that if you want Duren, like if you're, crying woe is me about Duren, that if you're an if you're an analyst and trying to be taken seriously, that crying about Duren is, not good. He says, you should have some pride, right? So I'll put that clip.
If you're gonna make yourself out to be like a semi-credible analyst, not that any of us really are, but like whatever. If you were going to posit that your opinions have some kind of validity to them, to go on Twitter and to be like, "Oh, woe is me," the Knicks traded that could have had Jalen Duren and traded him away. Like, I'm happy for you that you're making a living doing this, and like, I'm not trying to take anybody's bread, but like, have some fucking pride in what you do for a living. I don't know. Maybe that ship has sailed, and it's just about clicks and fucking views and followers and whatever else.
And I got some information after the fact. So in that same stream, so I didn't watch the whole stream. This is just a clip, obviously. So this is my first mistake. Is that in that same stream, they asked him who he's talking about, and apparently he said Worldwide Wob. So I'll have that tweet of what Wob tweeted about Duren, and it's just a meme, whatever. I don't know professionally if he's ever, done anything otherwise. So I don't really care. So Macri is addressing Wob, and we know that because he said that in his stream, and then Kris P had to get on Twitter and say the same thing to people in Poppa Left's comments. So we got Macri saying it's Wob. We have Kris P saying it's Wob. And then that just leaves, the innocuous tweet from Kris P about, why are you crying about Duren? Which, rude, maybe. Maybe it's rude. But it's only, he has a tweet also, he said, 2 people saw the shoe fit and they wore it. So if someone tomorrow tweets, I hate Knicks content creators with mustaches, you know what? Maybe I'll take offense to it. And they could not be talking about me, but I'll take offense to it because that seems to fit me, right? So Poppa Left gets a little upset over the Kris P tweet. He gets extremely upset over the Macri thing. And now I'm starting to think that people are kind of feeding him this stuff to like make him go off because they know what his personality is like. And if that's the case, shame on you. But, maybe people really just don't like Macri and they want that too. So I don't really know what the motives are behind the people who share this stuff with Poppa Left or what. But the reaction from Poppa Left, though, is really, if that's what they want, they did it because he went on an amazing tirade for several hours. Some would say he threatened his family. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but it's rude. It's really rude. So I'll just put that because it's important, I think, to get an idea about what kind of level of toxicity, to use their words, that they're functioning in. So let's just play that.
Let's address why certain people aren't critical and they use the passion of their fan base that they rely on the capital to pay for their baby formula. Let's talk about it. Because motherfuckers gotta feed their baby. So now Poppa Left either have to leave Twitter or fucking steal food out of your baby's mouth. And guess what I chose? I'm stealing baby food today. Macri and I'm stealing baby food today. For free. For free. Because I wear a fucking condom. For free. Because I know how to pull out. I don't need to pay for my baby for Knicks content. Because I pull out. I pull out. I don't need a subscription. I have a job. I'm successful at it. I have an ability to manage my time to where I can be on a Spaces for 6 hours and feed every responsibility. I don't ask for a super chat. I'm better than them. I'm way more entertaining. I'm way more knowledgeable. I don't have a fucking geek squad of cap space conversations and nobody gives a fuck. And even if they do, they can't fucking understand it because they're GED'd the fuck out. Let's be real.
And yeah, it's just not great. He's going off, acting crazy about people he knows better than, whatever. I mean, whatever it is. It's mostly ego-driven. I'm not going to lie. It's mostly ego-driven. It's mostly, you know, maybe why not me? I could be famous. That's basically what the vibe that I kind of get from Poppa Left's rant is that why not me? Why them? Why not me? Like, you know, I don't need the subscription because I don't have kids. And it's like, okay, it's not like Macri is doing these things because he has kids and like needs to feed them. I mean, obviously that is a motivating factor, but it seems Macri is pretty motivated to, you know, as someone who likes basketball, specifically the Knicks. So Kris P comes into his space after 2 hours of him ranting and tells him, listen, like, whoa, like, this is about Worldwide WAP, all right? It's not about you. It's not about you. And let me hit you with that because it's just, it's pretty insane.
Who is Macri talking about?
The dude whose tweet is pinned in this space that you have spent the last hour in yelling about how he was talking about two people that are not the dude whose tweet is pinned in this space. That's the only way I know how to put it, man. Like, he was talking about Worldwide WAP. If you listen to the clip, Ashley absolutely did. You could like Macri said he and him and his in the clip, right? So if Ashley had listened to a second of it, she might have accidentally caught that it absolutely was not about her. And she didn't even do that. I just want to give some quick context then on Macri's end of things too, right? Macri is never on Twitter anymore. That man does not have time for this app.
I would just DM'd him though. Like, and the thing is, Kris, I'm not trying. I get it. Like, it's not necessarily about you. It's about It's not about Macri right now. It's just about the Knicks resetting a rookie deal, and that's all I would have done. Okay, that's what I would have done.
So once you see Kris P trying to like tone it down, what does Poppa Left say? He says it's not about you or Macri. It's about the Knicks rookie contract extension. Okay. If that's what it's about, then that's what you should be talking about. Not Macri's kids. Not these content creators who don't value the fans. Not, you know, anything like that. If you want to be upset with a move the Knicks made, be upset with the move the Knicks made. The thing is, when you let your unhappiness with the team overflow into how you relate with other fans, it's extremely negative. No one really wants to deal with that because we're just basketball fans. We're just basketball fans, and not everybody approaches things with that level of hate and disgust. And he says, even, you know, in one of his space, he said, you know, everyone should be this upset because we're all delusional. We're all psychopaths. If we're Knicks fans and we've been Knicks fans for any amount of time in this era when they're not very good, then by default, something is wrong with us. Something mentally is like unstable, which, yeah, sure. I'm definitely not like, you know, poster child for stability. But I like to think I interact with people in a cool, calm, collected way where, you know, they're not left thinking they're not running away from me, right? Like, they're not like, oh, this guy, like, they might not like me, but I'm not like openly hostile. And, yeah. So yeah. So I think, Poppa Left realized he made some mistakes. Probably once he sobered up, right? He made this apology.
Yesterday, and in all actuality, I wasn't just drinking beers. It was my fault. I wanted to take accountability. I want to apologize directly to Jonathan Macri for my behavior yesterday, for mentioning your kids, your family, in any context was completely disgusting. It was despicable behavior on my part. And I'm sorry. You don't have to accept my apology. You don't have to acknowledge the apology. You could still want to choke me out. And honestly, you'd be completely vindicated. I don't have kids, but I can imagine if someone would ever say anything about my kids in the future, I would be completely upset, way more upset over some Knicks Twitter bullshit. So I applaud you for not embarrassing me back. For the people out there roasting me and saying I'm sensitive and saying I have a fragile ego, you're right. Unfortunately, I do have a very lively personality, and it's a part of the reason why a lot of people take a liking to me. But when you have that kind of energy, you have to learn to harness it. And I'll take this as a teaching moment, but none of that really matters to the people that I offend. And in this case, Macri, I'm sorry again. And I'm hoping to God that you really don't know how to access a Knicks space and can't hear the whole thing, because, you know, it is what it is. And I'll keep all the context about basketball and the Knicks out of it, because no matter what disagreement, if people think they have the best podcast in the world, you're the best basketball analyst, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Kids are kids, and you should be respectful to people's families. And oftentimes in life, you need someone to display bad behavior, to model bad behavior for you to learn from it. So if anybody learns something from it, just don't do what I did. So if there's any silver lining, just don't do what I did yesterday. Let's go Knicks.
And you can see he's got a beer in it. He tweeted before. He's just not taking it very seriously. He's like, "I'll apologize if the Knicks score 100 or something like that." And it just didn't feel that sincere. I mean, he was saying, "Oh, it wasn't just beer," so you know we can only assume what he was getting all into that really like drove him crazy. But it's not really an excuse, you know, for me. I don't really buy that. So originally I took a lot of weight into his apology, but I also didn't, you know, see everything that he was saying, and I didn't see Kris P clarifying what was actually going on with the tweets. So with that knowledge of what was actually said and Kris P's attempt to, you know, smooth out the situation, clarify the situation, and then his like kind of bogus apology kind of paints him in a bad light to me. I'll let you make your own decision with this new information that I have. So that's all I'm getting at really, is I wanted to make sure we understand that there wasn't a miscommunication. It's not like the subliminal tweeting that he was ranting about, you know. I just don't think they're not checking for you. They're not looking for you. They don't. So was that Kris tweet maybe in your direction, Poppa Left? Possibly. Did it require all that reaction? Hardly. If you want to be upset about a trade, if you want to be upset about a move, a player, whatever, we're Knicks fans, we're basketball fans, we can have negative opinions. We're allowed that. We're allowed to be negative. However, you are not allowed to be openly hostile, to threaten people, their family, their livelihood. And not for nothing, if you were sitting next to me in the garden, cursing every player and just being just too much, now you're affecting my fan experience. So we want to all get into the mindset of, oh, each fan's experience is valid. If you want to be negative, you can be negative. If you want to boo, you can boo. You can. But you also have to remember there are other fans around you that maybe don't want to boo. I just want to cheer. I want to cheer. I like Nerlens Noel. I want to cheer for him. He's gone now, but guess what? I still want to cheer for him. Why not? Why not? Oh, Fournier doesn't produce quite as well as you thought he might. Oh, let's scream at him and let's curse him. Why? Why? I want Fournier to have a good day. It's like, that's just the humanity in me, though. Like, I just want Fournier to have a good day. I don't care if he scores 30 points. I don't. Julius Randle, I want him to have a good day. I just want him to have a good day. Poppa Left, I too want you to have a good day. And it becomes more and more apparent to me that it's not that you're not capable of that. It's that you don't want that. You like outrage, and that's cool. That's cool. I know a lot of people like that who need something to drive them like that. And it seems to work for you because, like you said, you're successful in your business. You have the summer off. You don't have kids, so you don't need the subscribers. Everything's going good for you. So that's great. You even said it. Your relationship is good. Where you are in your career is good. You've even said it. The only thing that you said the only thing bad in my life is the Knicks. And brother, if we can all relate to that. We can all relate to that. But you know what I cannot relate to is how you want to interact with content creators, other fans, the players, the FO. Like, would you slap Leon Rose in the face? No, you wouldn't. Because the moment you saw him, you'd be like, oh, that's like, this is a human. This is a man. Like, no matter what you think about him, these are people. And I know it's easy when you're behind a keyboard to say whatever. And we saw that with the Big Knick Energy guys. We saw that when they were challenged and threatened and they thought, Poppa Left was saying something to them, about them, whatever. They came for it. And it's a little embarrassing to me. But guess what? We're human. We make mistakes. So they deleted their tweets. They moved on, They deleted their tweets. They moved on. There's still probably the recording of the space. But guess what? It's not that big of a deal. We're going to move on together. Everything's smoothed over there. But it's a human thing. But you got to be sincere and you got to try to be doing better. I talked to my guys today and they're like, you know what? We do want this positivity. That wasn't good of us. So I spoke to them. I almost had a falling out, It's like, I don't want to be doing this, like sweeping up after you guys, like trying to make something happen when it's like you guys are just imploding things, So we spoke and they're like, you know what? We want to be a positive space for people to come, for fans to come. And I'm like, that's what I'm about too. So that's great. We all make mistakes. I think my guys at Big Knick Energy going after you was wrong. But two, getting in a fight with a woman on Spaces about who gets more women and then retweeting it, glorifying it like that was the thing is also wrong to me. So to that effect, everybody make sure, you're not just taking things surface level. I thought I was doing diligent research. And it's just a few different bits that I missed that changed the whole story. So Kris P, Jonathan McCree, please forgive me for not putting in the whole side of things. So with this new knowledge out here and with this new evidence, I really hope that we can all move forward together and be better as fans, better as people, because that's all it is at the end of the day. Even though I won a championship, I value my players' mental health over that championship. I'd rather every player on my team sleep good at night, have a good working relationship, and be able to retire and like live their life happily, not have to someone just tweeted about they want Grimes to injure Evan Fournier in practice. Who tweets that? Who says that to people? Children. It's children who says that. Because they don't know any better, because they're not human yet. They're not at this level of we should care about each other, because they're children. So if you're out here tweeting to Grimes that you want him to hurt Evan Fournier, that's sick. That's sick. If you're out here on a Twitter space arguing with people about who gets more women and whose dick is bigger and this and that, if you're out here saying that these content creators don't care, they only want subscriptions and I'm the only one who knows, and I'm going to take food out their baby's mouth because I do it for free and people want to listen to me more. It's sick. It's gross. And then when you get the clarification that you need, that maybe you shouldn't be so upset about this, you say, oh, it's not about them, it's about the Knicks. And I find that it's just an excuse. I find that it's just an excuse for you to act how you want to act. So maybe Knicks fans are not all delusional psychopaths. Maybe delusional psychopaths are drawn to the Knicks because there's something consistently to be upset about. What do they say in England? I think is it Manchester or Arsenal? It's one of the big English soccer club teams, but basically when the team loses, domestic violence goes way up. And now are those people really upset over the soccer, or were they going to hit their wives anyway? And this was just an excuse. So I think about that a lot. And I'm going to continue thinking about that. And I'm going to continue to pray for peace and positivity. And I really hope everyone gets the help they need, because clearly there's a lot of people out here who need help, support. And I'm here for it. You know, I'm never going to shun you. I'm never going to cancel you. I'm never going to tell you your opinion is not valid about the Knicks. But what I will tell you is that you shouldn't be cursing at women about random stuff on Twitter Spaces. You shouldn't be threatening babies because of a Knicks rookie extension. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. So we talked it out with Big Knick Energy this morning, and I think, we're going to keep trying to do better and be positive and be that place where we can just talk about basketball. And I know a lot of people are upset about that. Like, oh, they're too positive and they just want to talk about another Donovan Mitchell trade thing. And it's like, yeah, because that's what's entertaining to me right now, is maybe we get a better player. And then we can say, oh, but my heart, I can't trade such and such. So come on, like that's what I like about being a fan. All right, not this other stuff about attacking players and stuff, like, or other creators or other fans. Like, all right, this is already going on way longer than my last video, and that's not going to fly for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, hold each other accountable, and stay vigilant, stay diligent, and stay a Knicks fan, all right? Stay a Knicks fan. I love this team. I'm really excited for this season to come up, and hopefully it's a good one. And on that note, I think we're all set here. Thank you so much, and I do apologize for the first video. I will be removing it, and that's it, really. I didn't realize I was missing information, and with that new information, we move forward. That's all there is to it, baby, all right? So if someone say you're doing wrong, just say, oh, I didn't realize that was wrong, and move on. Be better. Don't lean into it and be like, this is just who I am, because you know what? Every person who I know who just says that's just who I am, they're not in my life anymore, because I don't like who they are. And Poppa Left, I don't like you. Jonathan McCree, I don't like you. Kris P, I don't like you. Big Knick Energy guys, I tolerate you. I barely like you, all right? And that's a me problem. But you see that? I don't like James Dolan. I don't even like a lot of the players on the Knicks. Like, I'm not going to go have a beer with them, sort of thing. It's like, they're just people. And I can respect that, because they have their own problems, their own lives, and they see things completely different than me, and that's a beautiful thing. So Poppa Left, keep being you, doing your thing, but that's not going to stop us from being positive. That's not going to stop us from calling out some craziness that we see out here in these streets, because if you just let everything just go, then where are the standards, right? Where are the standards? Where are we headed? What are we doing as a fan base, as a people? And I'm Big Knick Burt with the Big Knick Energy, feeling macho. Oh, yeah.
Burt knows basketball, y'all.